Alright, welcome to part 3 of getting into competitive riders. I just want to mention something really quick that I did not in the previous video. There are some gears in this game that you don't need to worry about charging your jump for. These gears are the Legend, which is this, the Magic Carpet, um, what else? Let's have a look. There's a couple more. Super Hang On and Advantage S. For these, you just need to tap A on the ramp as opposed to fully charge your jump. Or if you cruise off of the ramp without jumping, it will do it automatically for you. All you will need to do is input your trick sequence. It should also be mentioned that for those, your first trick does not matter either. But enough of that, let's talk about general routing in your stage and the things you should be doing and the decisions you should be making in a game. So you'll notice I'm using default gear for all of these videos, and that's because I think it's the best gear to learn on. The most important thing about riders is knowing when to and when to not to use your air. You'll notice that if I'm stationary, my air does not go down, but if I cruise, my air slowly depletes, and there are other things I can do that make my air deplete more. These include boosting, tornadoing, charging jump, and drifting. And these are the 4 ways to increase your air drain. And the main aim of the game is to sort of optimize your resource usage. I say resource usage because there are gears in this game that use rings. A good example of this is Supersonic, who uses rings while cruising and boosting and drifting, just like Amy does, but he has no air. But yeah, the aim of the game is to most efficiently use your air while also going the fastest. And there are things that will restore your air, type shortcuts. So as a speed type, I have access to grind rails, leveling up, which always restores all of your air, ramps, which restore anywhere between 20 air for a C rank and 100 air for an X rank. There are gears that will give you more air if you for the same tricks. Legend, for example, gives you more air when you're doing tricks. I believe it's like 120% air gain. And the last method to get air is QTEs, which is short for quick time events. These are states like this where you can't do anything apart from wiggle your control stick like a maniac to gain air. But SRT automatically inputs the QTE for you, and it will restore all of your air. And the one exception to this rule is the power type QTE on Green Cave, which was recently nerfed because it's a bit broken. But yeah, that no longer restores all your air. It restores a fixed amount of air. So high air gears benefit less from it than low air gears do. But yeah, there are ring gears, on the other hand, get all of these benefits, but they do not gain air from QTEs, and they do not gain rings from QTEs, and they also do not gain rings from jumps, with the exception of the Crazy. That's the only gear that gains rings from jumps. Yeah, there are some gears that this doesn't apply to, where you don't really have to worry about your resource management. And the 2 gears that come to mind are the Faster, which is this gear here, and the second one is the Accelerator, which is lovingly nicknamed the Gravity Cannon. Where is it? There it is. And the reason for that is both of these gears do the opposite of what you think they should do, and they gain air while you're cruising. So I'm just going to demonstrate that here with Faster. Faster gains air slower than the Accelerator gains rings, but it's also generally a better gear. So you can see I boost there, and you can see I'm in caution. But while I cruise, you can see my air go up, and I'm slowly gonna come out of caution. Right about now. And then I get to boost again. It is very hard to air out on these gears. And if you do, then congratulations, I guess. But yeah. I guess the best way for you to optimize your resource management is to just play all of the tracks with your preferred type in single player and just go through a track, get to grips with, you know, the gear you pick and how it uses its resources and so on and so forth, and try and like develop routes for it that complement to its strengths. You'll notice in multiplayer it works slightly differently because getting hit takes away your air, and you may also be forced to take different routes because your opponent is either blocking you with tornadoes or just making your life really difficult. And that's their job, they should be doing that. But yeah, the entire concept of how you use your resources is something you will learn over time, and you will get better at managing your resources and, you know, using them in the best places with practice and with experience. You know, this doesn't come just like that. This is something you have to actually play to get used to. If you do struggle with air or resources in general, there are a couple gears I will recommend. The first one is Darkness. This is no longer Shadow's default gear, but this gear has extra air. And the second one is Air Tank, which, very similar to Darkness, has a lot of extra air. It's very hard to air out on these gears, and unless you are, you know, very, very greedy with your air, not greedy, but like willing to throw it away, you will not air out on either of these gears. The disadvantage to them is that they're not very fast, but there are some stages where that doesn't matter and you can just play it normally, because they effectively are default gears, just with a bit of extra air and without the quality of life bonuses that default gears get. But yeah, make sure that you know your type as well, and use your type shortcuts when you need to. One exception to this, or there's two exceptions. E10G does not have a type, so this is considered by many to be the most difficult character in the game, purely because of his inability to regain air from type shortcuts. You need to be very smart about how you use your air on E10G. This is a character that I main, although not on default gear. And yeah, you just need to sort of be wary with your air. He also like doesn't have any perks like reduced air gain or reduced air usage or anything like that. It is literally just, are you good at using your air? Are you smart about how you use it? And if yes, can you use it to punish the opponent? Yeah, the other example, or the other sort of typeless, is Advantage P, and this is a skate shoes type gear that removes your type and gives you extra boost speed. But I think it also gives you extra air, so that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I'm just going to do a route here. I didn't mean to, but I'm going to do a route here and explain my thought process. So you can see I'm running low on air here. I'm going to do a manual trick here, just to regain my air. Boost here. There's an air pit here, because I'm in caution, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to fail this turn, because I suck. And here, instead of getting that air pit, I'm going to cruise to the end, or cruise to this ramp, because ramps refill a lot of air. But yeah, this is the sort of things you should be doing, you should be thinking about while you're playing SRTE. Always look at your air gauge / ring gauge, so you can decide, you know, when to do certain things. It also should be noted, you shouldn't be spamming boost all the time. It is the easiest way to run out of air, and not the smartest thing to do. But yeah, that is resource management in SRT and the sort of decisions that you should be making. If you do decide to play ring gears, note that it will work slightly differently because you will, in general, get fewer rings in a stage, depending on your RNG, since you don't get rings from QTEs and ramps. But yeah, thanks for watching this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do the next part on, but I will have a look at the comp discussion and see what new players are struggling with, and I will make a video accordingly. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, leave a like, and thanks for watching.